Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Jamin's Daily. Here tonight with some really good topics, the things you've come to expect from me, your host, Jamin. Again, thanks for joining us on Jamin's Daily. Let's get into the topics. Our first one is something that was a phenomenon, a Netflix phenomenon, which was, you ready for it, folks? Everybody knows it. Everybody knows. And I thought I had the lineup squared away. Rookie mistake. And I didn't. And again, one of these days, folks, I'm going to buy a $10,000 computer so we don't have these stupid performance issues, because that's the only thing I can explain it on, is why this still is so slow sometimes. But here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Joe Exotic. And if I could, so folks, everybody's wondering, who is Trump gonna pardon? Trump has to pardon somebody. He's going to pardon a bunch of people. And we're going to get into who he didn't and who he did pardon today, folks. But who did he not? Joe Exotic. Because he's what? Maybe, according to Joe Exotic, he's too innocent and too gay. Tiger King's Joe Exotic claws at Trump for denying pardon. It's too bad because, if you're sitting there in jail, your only hope of getting out is this pardon from Trump, you gotta be hoping. Apparently maybe it might be in the article, he had a limo. There it is. Let's say, so the limousine Tiger King Joe Exotic booked in hopes of receiving a presidential pardon was indeed a stretch after all, in more ways than one. Team Exotic was reportedly so confident about the Netflix docuseries star being pardoned by former President Donald Trump that he had a limo parked near his Fort Worth prison and elaborate plans to be whisked away for a medical evaluation and pampering. This was the first. This after the embattled zoo operator, whose real name is Joseph Allen Maldonado Passage, mounted one of the most high-profile campaigns to receive a pardon. But he was sorely disappointed Wednesday when he was excluded from the list of pardons and commutations that came during Trump's final hours in office. Exotic was convicted in April 2019 on federal charges of animal cruelty and attempting to hire a hitman to kill rival Carol Baskin, which everybody knows at this point. Everybody knows. He had choice words for former POTUS and his son Don Jr., but it was too little too late. I was too innocent and too gay to deserve a pardon from Trump. He read a tweet from the Tiger King star's account. He's in jail, folks, okay? But he still has a Twitter. I only mattered to Don Jr. when he needed to make a comment about me to boost his social media post. Boy, were we all stupid to believe he actually stood for equal justice. His corrupt friends all come first. Meow. Yeah, he's definitely salty. He's definitely not happy. Sitting back in jail, folks. Sitting in jail. But, Joe Exotic is the quintessential anti-hero. People love him. It's hard not to, in some ways, kind of root for the guy. And yet, he's not a good, he's not an angel. He's no angel. And probably not he's not a good person either in some ways. But, we all fall short, folks. We all fall short. So no pardon for Joe Exotic. But who did Trump pardon? Let's look into it. Trump pardoned 2 rappers. One I'm very familiar with. The other, not so much. But let's get into one that most people probably heard of, which is Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne, he went hard for this one too, because I remember he was getting photographs with Donald Trump before the election, putting out, his endorsement for Donald Trump before the election, because he knew win or lose, it was Trump who was gonna grant him clemency or pardon him or something. So Lil Wayne and Kodak Black. Why did Donald Trump grant the rappers clemency? So why do the rappers get clemency and not Joe Exotic? I thought Trump was racist. Let's see. Maybe this explains it to us. Rap stars Lil Wayne and Kodak Black were on a list of more than 140 people who were granted pardons or had their sentences commuted by outgoing U.S. President Donald Trump on his last full day in the job. They were joined by Michael Harrio Harris, co-founder of seminal rap label Death Row Records, after Snoop Dogg campaigned on his behalf. And that's because Snoop Dogg would come after and hate on Trump. He was one of the biggest. He had TDS really bad. While the omission of Tiger King star Joe Exotic from Mr. Trump's list went against some expectations. Here's a look at why clemency was granted to the three hip-hop aficionados. Lil Wayne, trustworthy and generous, apparently. Let's see. They can give us some. Lil Wayne, real name Dwayne Michael Carter Jr., pleaded guilty to federal weapons charges last year. The 38-year-old was found to be carrying a gun and bullets when the police searched a private plane in Miami, December 19. He faced up to 10 years in prison. He's also one of the biggest stars in rap, with 5 U.S. #1 albums and more than 40 top singles than any other artist apart from Drake. He appeared to endorse Donald Trump during the election campaign late last year, praising his works on criminal reform. And here they are. They don't call him Lil Wayne for nothing. It's not very big. Trump's pretty big, though. Trump's a big guy. I'm not much bigger than Lil Wayne, to be honest. The White House said his pardon had been championed by Brett Barish, CEO of wine and spirits company Sovereign Brands, who described Lil Wayne as trustworthy, kind-hearted, and generous. He said the White House statement went on to say that the rapper had exhibited this generosity through commitment to a variety of charities, including donations to research hospitals and a host of food banks. Deion Sanders. So all these people, who cares what these people say? The reason why. You know what I think the reason why is because Lil Wayne, this is kind of mafioso stuff when it comes to, and it's weird that in our Constitution it's allowed for. We all know it's taken advantage of. Not just Trump, everybody, all the other presidents too. There's nothing like being able to imagine giving somebody their freedom. Lil Wayne was going to jail for like upwards of 10 years. These are federal crimes. He had a gun. He's a felon. In some cases, there's no even any judicial, discretion. There's like mandatory minimum. Like he would have to do like 6 years in jail, 10 years in jail, years. Okay, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years in jail. And Trump just gave him his freedom. Okay, there's something to be said. So Lil Wayne, still rapper, still famous, he's going to be able to not forget that for the rest of his life. And that's going to carry some weight for Trump. I think that's how Trump is. Very transactional in that way. So if he's thinking Joe Exotic, probably okay. Everything that made him famous, he can't do anymore. Lil Wayne can still rap and go out and be famous and rap. Joe Exotic can't do that. Okay, he doesn't have any animals anymore. Not gonna get them. So all he can do is go on the talk show circuit and bring unwanted scrutiny onto Trump, okay? So Lil Wayne, the rappers, in my mind, that's where Trump's coming from. He's thinking, all right, these guys, you know, if I was Trump, if I was Don Jr., I'd be calling Lil Wayne right now and be like, listen, you and Kodak Black, y'all need to get together. We need to put out a single where you're giving out some kind of, showing some dap for Trump, who just kept you out of jail. You know, got Kodak Black out of jail and kept Lil Wayne out of jail. They should come in. And that's the name of the single, In and Out. Out of jail, in jail. Something like this. I don't know. Pardon. The name of the rap song could be Pardon. I don't know. They can get Drake in on it. Number one for sure. And then if Trump was in the video, oh my God. Listen, I think that would be a great career move because the sheer massive publicity, good and bad, on it would just be off the charts. Moving on, folks. I've been talking about pardons. Let's get into something that is everybody sees. We've made jokes about this on Jamin's Daily about when you wear your mask, just like Mr. Bill Clinton is over here. When you wear your mask, underneath your nose and on more so on the chin, this is what you call a chin diaper. You are no longer wearing a mask. A mask has to go over the nose. If you're wearing it just on your lips and your chin, it's a chin diaper. Okay, folks, let your friends know. You heard it first from Jamin here on Jamin's Daily. So, are chin diapers the new man spreading, or what they call it, mask slipping? Is mask slipping the new man spreading? As though only men do this mask slipping. Remember, folks, I told you when we do these articles, I haven't read them. I haven't read these articles. I'm just going along with it. I'm seeing it as you're seeing it, folks. But right away, I'm finding issue with this article because, you know, man spreading has to do with genitalia and the way in which a man sits to be comfortable. But wearing a mask between men and women, there's no difference. And so I see both people of all genders and even non-conforming, folks wearing chin diapers, not wearing their mask correctly. So I don't get where this is going. When I saw Bill Clinton's mask slip below his nose during the inaugural festivities, I figured, well, it could happen to any of us. But then John Roberts' mask was not entirely covering his nose at different points. Oh, I love how this article is already, the mask. I don't even want to say the word because I know it's a no bueno for YouTube. But like the hardcore mask people, like they're like finding out when and where you are or are not wearing your mask correct. And even oh no, guys. Not Barack. Not Barry. Say it ain't so. Even Barack Obama's mask dipped below the tip of his nose at one point. Oh my God. What are we going to do? A couple months back then, President Trump's economic advisor, Larry Kudlow, he was spotted. He was spotted outside the West Wing with his mask down. I realized it's not a Democratic thing or a Republican thing or an inaugural thing. It's a male thing. It's like man spreading, but with masks. Call it man slipping. Again, what I found in this evaluation of society, folks, is you really, people in general are drawn to what interests them. It's not that you see everything, but the way your brain works is that if it focused on everything that you see, it'd be overload. So it's designed in a way that you see everything, but you only focus on whatever it is your mind has its sights on to a degree. So are you trying to convince me that this lady who's writing this article doesn't see women slipping their mask below their nose? You know, folks, this is a mission. You need to go out and start observing this, because now I am. I had no idea that this was a man problem. Because I think I've seen everybody and their grandma wearing their stinking mask incorrectly. Anyways, experts continually remind us that to protect ourselves and others against the coronavirus, a mask should cover your face from the bridge of your nose to under your chin. But too many of us are letting our masks slip. Oh, well, at least she says us. It doesn't just say too many men. Women wear masks too, and of course they sometimes slip, but I see a lot more man slippage. I see it not only in news coverage, but in grocery stores and on the street. I don't know. Oh, it's not all men, of course. But then, not all men take up 2 or 3 subway seats. Something about some men seems to make it difficult to keep that mask where it should be. Could it be that male noses are just so big that they can't accommodate masks? Remember the various dubious anatomical explanations for man spreading? Is it dubious? Who has decided that the various dubious or the various anatomical explanations are dubious? That can't be it, because a lot of doctors are male, and doctors, although they might sit wide on the subway, actually know what viruses do, and they get a chance to see what the viruses can do. So their natural tendency to inhale all the invariable air in any given room is tempered by both the Hippocratic oath and a fear of death. They don't let their masks slip. So now this genius is making a general statement in which how all doctors, so there has never been a doctor who allows for the slippage. All doctors don't let their mask slip. So can you see the levels of elitism that's going on here, folks? Could it be that men just need more air than women and children? I don't know. In scuba diving, the conventional wisdom is that men tend to use more air, partly because of body size. Maybe that's right. I'm trying to find out if I actually breathe really well with my mask on. It's slightly cumbersome, but whenever I have my mask on, I concentrate on my breathing a little bit. I don't have to wear a mask a whole lot. Maybe that's the problem, or what's good about it is that when I walk into a grocery store where there's going to be a lot of people, I'm wearing my mask. And when I'm wearing my mask, it's like a good time to focus on your breathing. Like really, and I haven't been super stuffed up or sick and had to wear a mask. Now that's like torture. Can you imagine having a severe cold? You can't breathe out your nose, and then having to wear a mask. You're like, oh, you'd be like Darth Vader. This is crazy. Anyways, let's read the last whopper here. Still, the simple fact, and President Biden wants us to return to facts, is that men have no greater need for either the subway seat or a free breathing nose than either women or children. The other thing I don't like about this, folks, that we need to highlight is this. There's a lot of gendered language in that article. Lots of it. We're talking about men and women. Doesn't this writer understand and realize that there are so many people, non-conforming people, that she's just haphazardly referring to as men who are slipping their masks. She doesn't know. It could be a female for all she knows who's slipping it. Male here. This one I can see men referring to men, women. Men are larger than women. Really? It's 2021, folks. This lady, she thinks she's being clever, but she's actually taking several steps back in regards to social justice. All in her attempt to take some swipes at men who drop their masks. Let us know, folks. Let us know. Jamin's Daily. Send me an email. Let me know what you think. Moving on to our last. Did we go through these already? 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah. Here's another controversy going on. You're probably thinking, Jamin, why all the topics are controversy? Well, that's the only thing that's on the internet, folks. These are all internet links. And if you've been on the internet, it's all clickbait controversy stuff. So that's what you're getting today. Maybe if you have some ideas for something else, you can send me an email. jaminsdaily@gmail.com. But golf star Justin Thomas, he's entering a training program after using a gay slur. Now, folks, we're going to get into, there's multiple angles of looking at this story. So when I heard this happen, I read it. I didn't hear it. So I didn't see it. I didn't watch it live. I heard about it, so I'm reading it. And I hear what he said. So I'm like, okay. And so I'm thinking in my mind when he may have. So it says here, Justin Thomas, one of the biggest golf stars in golf, says he intends to enroll in a training program to help him be a better person after he used an anti-gay slur on a course earlier this month. You know, and this is where it's so. And I just blame him. You know, I don't blame him because he's probably having to do all this to save face, to save endorsements. Tommy Hilfiger told him he had to do this. You know, it just is what it is. But, you know, Kobe Bryant, may he rest in peace. One of my favorite athletes, competitors of all time. Kobe, he was a great, all-around great person and athlete. Great, one of the greatest basketball players all the time. I mean, when I play basketball and I pull a sick move and I cross somebody over and hit a fadeaway, I say Kobe. I go, Kobe. You know, that's how I grew up. Now, he uttered on mic in a game the same thing and nothing. He got some flack about it. He had to apologize, but he didn't lose any endorsements. He didn't have to go to any kind of training. So, again, this is another example, folks, of kind of a double standard. And then 2, it's all on, you know, certain people are more accountable for certain things. This is how the world works. Thomas was on the 4th green during the Century Tournament of Champions in Hawaii on January the 9th when he missed a 5-foot par putt and muttered F and then 1, 2, F, whatever the gay slur that starts with an F is. Now, I thought when I saw this photo, I thought he was going to hit it and he was going to leave it short. At which point then he uttered the slur at himself because he left it short. So I've played golf with people that when you leave it short, there are all kinds of teasing that's all politically incorrect that goes on for not hitting it hard enough. Okay? This is just a way in which athletics and competition is done, right? So you leave it short. So I thought when I saw this, I thought, oh, for sure, he's going to leave it short and then he's going to call himself a gay slur. But that he ends up missing it long and it goes past. we're gonna try something, folks. We're gonna see if this will actually play within OBS when I interact. Is it gonna do it? Oh, we might. Oh, it's loading a stinking ad. Let's see how this works because we're gonna. Oh, here it is, guys. This is a first on Jamin's Daily, running embedded video during the video shoot, during our broadcast. As he tried to putt aggressively through it. Ouch. Oh, they bleep it out. How hilarious. But you see, he hit it long. He hit it long. So I'm thinking, again, the reason for him calling himself that, him missing it that way, is just weird. Is this a bizarre form of self, athletes, people do this to, people call themselves names out of frustration. Like, oh, you idiot. Oh, this, that. So this guy called himself this gay slur, which is just weird. It's not the first time he's called himself a bad word, I guess. Anyways, it says it's not a word I use, but for some reason it was in there, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. Why was it in there? Oh my God. Because words are in your mind, bro. You say words. People say them. People say mean, ugly, horrible things. And the thing that you should learn is that the bigger thing about language, it's not about what's in your head. This is what's scary. People want to not just change what you say, but change the way you think, which is like re-education, Orwellian crazy stuff. The whole fact of the matter is that we learn these words in different ways for different reasons, and then you use them as appropriate. And it's never appropriate when you're on national TV to use slurs in this way. Okay, folks? That is what he needs to figure out. Why? He needs to understand, why would I say that on national TV? That is the bigger question that Justin Thomas needs to figure out. Because he's an adult. And it says, there's just no excuse. I'm an adult. I'm a grown man. There's absolutely no reason for me to say anything like that. And yeah, he got to apologize. Good for him for apologizing. I wish he just would have left it there. Doing the sensitivity training just seems kind of like, what do you call it? It just seems, what's the word, folks? I'm going blank here. Like, it's just over the top. Really? Does anybody really, even the gay, the LGBT folks out there, if you're listening to my show, everybody gets offended. Everybody gets called different things, and people are used. And so I get it. If you're part of that community and the slur that's used for you, and really for the LGBT community, that slur, that word, the slur, has really been adopted in all kinds of ways. Look, I mean, this Justin Thomas is using the word in a way that is like completely foreign from the way in which maybe the word is originally or could be used. It's again, why I say it's very bizarre on how this came out. And so now I wish him well, Justin Thomas. I hope the training that you go through will help you come to realize why you say the things you say. I don't know. Sometimes things just come out. Which is why, folks, don't they say that's why the good Lord gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth, right? Because you're supposed to just listen more. Listen to me. Let me do all the talking, folks at home, okay? Jamin, your host. I want to thank you again for joining us here at Jamin's Daily. Don't forget that this podcast is brought to you by Sage Choice Insurance Agency. you can give us a call at 361-400-2411. But I haven't even been saying the phone number as much recently, because you can just go to quotefromjamin.com. It's right there this whole time. From your smartphone. Put it in. Fill out. It's not that hard, folks. You can figure it out. You want a home quote, auto quote, you want both home and auto, and just put it in. If you don't know some of the information, just skip it. Keep going forward. Even if you don't submit it, everything that you're doing is shows up on our end in terms of the data, so that we can run quotes. We can call you, contact you. So if you got any kind of renewal, whether it's your auto or home coming up, go to quotefromjamin.com. Reach out to us, and we'll save you money on your renewal. That's how it works. That's how it goes. So thanks a lot, folks, sticking with us. I'm going to continue to come with you with my hot takes on current events and pop culture. And from time to time, again, bring back some guests to the show. Going to start working on that again. Trying to make sure we find some people who can bring something to the show, folks. Something exciting that you want to watch. So again, thanks for joining us. Stick with us, because the best is yet to come.